for formatting, mechanics, and style. This is the part of the podcast where we show you how the individual screenwriters teach us to read their individual screenplay. Everyone does it a little different, and things we can pick up from them and see if we want to use it in our screenwriting or nah. Not a whole lot here outside the box, but there are some things. One, the scene headings. They got very creative here with the scene headings. On page 114, they use the rare mark through. The scene heading is Interior Ken Oval Office Day. And it was originally a Barbie Oval Office. So they do this to make a point. Instead of just, saying that it changed, they're showing you, hey, this used to be Barbie's office. Now it's Ken's. It's the Ken takeover. On page 27, they break up the interior, exterior to show us the exact locations. It says interior convertible / exterior Barbie land open road morning. Now, in screenwriting, we usually put interior / exterior, then some sort of description. This actually makes more sense. And it's the only time in the screenplay they do it. There are several other interior, exterior where they do it the more traditional way. On page 18, they use a cut to instead of a scene heading. It says, cut to the real world with a little girl doing what all little girls do with their Barbies at some point. More traditionally, you would just put that as a scene heading, show what happened, and then back to the other scene. Here they forego the scene heading altogether. Page 14, they use 2 time designations on one slug. It says interior Barbie dream house, bedroom, period, night, period, later, period. And then to show that they use mini slugs, we'll look at page 15 here. They do this several times in the screenplay. Here it just says kitchen. Here they go from the bathroom to the kitchen. And mini slugs can be very helpful for a screenplay as long as they're not overly used. It just keeps you reading, keeps you going. They get very creative with their character tags. One of the things they do is they do name 3 actors in the screenplay directly on their character tags. We talked about it earlier, the Margot and Ryan Gosling, but here Helen Mirren is named. She's the narrator. She does all the voiceovers for the screenplay. She's like the matriarchal woman of the story. She survived Hollywood for 6 decades. And just so you can see it on the page, we have Barbie, Margot, we have Ken, Ryan Gosling. That's a pretty cool story. They also use character tags to insert even more comedy into the screenplay, as if it needed it. Page 38, we see here, we already have a Mattel employee. The next person that talks is younger Mattel employee. And then the next person who talks is an even younger Mattel employee. So instead of employee 1, employee 2, employee 3, just always delivering that comedy punch, one after another after another. In 63, we finally get to meet Sasha's dad, Gloria's husband, who is just sort of a punchline in the story, and his character name is Nerdy Well-Meaning Dad. I haven't checked on IMDb, but I'm sure it's in there. I'm sure this actor is tagged as Nerdy Well-Meaning Dad, which is pretty funny. They use underlining quite a bit in the screenplay, mostly just to emphasize a point. We'll take a look at one example on page 2 here. It says, and now Barbie's world gets continually multifaceted and wide-ranging and diverse and interesting. So they wanted to point this out as something to pay attention to, so they underlined it. They use bold in the screenplay to indicate things that will be read on the screen. Here on page 25, there's a sign, a goodbye sign for Barbie as she's going to the real world, and it's in bold, and it says, bon voyage to reality and good luck restoring the membrane that separates our world from theirs so you don't get cellulite! Exclamation point. And then finally, the way they use dual dialogue isn't really for characters talking over each other, but it's more to bunch dialogue together. So it's like these people will be talking about the same time, and just to take up less space on the page, we're going to squish it together and do some dual dialogue. We see that on page 30 where we have the 4 construction workers. And if you remember from the film, they're not talking over each other, not talking at the same time, but these are the lines that they say. And so they just squeeze them together here at the bottom of the page. Just going to take a quick time out here to say thank you.